Alright, I'm starting a new project here while I'm waiting for parts on the other one. This is supposed to be a Decca. Now, I'm not 100% certain of that because for some reason no badges are put in the case, but we do have Decca right there on the reproducer. Reproducer, by the way, is not orthophonic. This is, you can almost see it in there probably, a mica diaphragm. That's already been rebuilt, so we'll just set that aside. And it does have the Garrard number 20 motor. Garrard commonly shows up in lots of Columbias and Decca. Very, very nicely made little motor. I mean, look at this. They even painted the cast iron frame. A part that would not expected to be seen by the consumer, but it is nicely painted. Let me show you the governor in there. Look at the governor. See it? Inward facing weights. See if I can get it to spin a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Very quiet motors too. Garrard is known for that. Lots of brass in there. Look at all the brass, the weights, everything. And this has a composite gear that is brass and fiber. See, it's like a little sandwich. See how close I can get on that so you can really see it good. There you go. You got brass top and bottom and fiber in the middle. Kind of hold it all together. And again, there shouldn't be any grease. There's very little grease on this one. There shouldn't be any. Maybe a little powdered graphite. That'll be about it. Back off. Look at the caps on there. These are the bearing caps for the governor. All nicely knurled finish on this. See if I can close it on that so you can really get a better look at it. Just how nicely they made it. Look at that. Very nicely made. And it doesn't need much, just a general cleaning. Now this, the machine itself, not Swiss. Definitely not Swiss. You know, the parts aren't. If anything, the parts look more HMV. But so it probably is a Decca, even without the badges in the case. And you can see that the case is imitation snake skin or crocodile skin. I'm not really sure. Probably croc. But look how they made. And it does sit like this. The lid opens like that. I'll show you that in a minute. But how they made this now. This is a solid piece of welded steel. And like the screw... Whoops. I almost forgot. Lost the brake. That's the auto brake. I'm sure that's going to be a nightmare later, but we'll put that aside for now. Look at how they made this. Like the Swiss machines and the Electrola 255, the horn is integral with the motorboard. But look how they made all those nice welded seams on there. Everything perfect. The horn starts here and all around and comes back in the same spot. There is the elbow going out, your tone arm. You see that down there? Down in here, goes out, goes right through. Let me put some light on that. I have a flashlight here, I should use it. Okay. See that now better? They actually made the elbow go through the case. All welded up there and sealed. Oh, look, a stink bug. A dead one anyway. Harmless. And then it comes back around this way. Right down through there. And that's your horn opening. So the sound goes out and comes back in the same opening, basically. Not connected, of course. Really, really nice work. Definitely a step above, and how they did the tone, I mean the crank here. This crank, you just pull it back, it disengages, pick it up, and then it stores right down. Just, how does it do it? Yeah, just like that. And then you re-engage it. If the motor was in there, this would engage a little slot. The slot is not there. It's in a piece I took out. I'll find that later. But nice tone arm mount, all ball bearings, and over here, actually should get that crank out of the way before I damage something else. Besides the auto brake, it also has a manual brake. This is your needle case, and what happens is when the lid support comes down, it sort of closes that when it closes, and then it opens automatically. You'll see that when it's all back together. And it's all part of it. And the lid stay goes here. The lid stay actuates this. It's a gold finish, like a swirled gold finish. Not sure what this is. This might have been rubber at one time. Now it's stone. Actually, I don't know. That doesn't look like it was ever really meant to be soft. The reproducer fits in there when the lid's closed. I'm guessing because it's not orthophonic and by the level of workmanship here, this is going to be probably late 20s, somewhere around in there. Now let's take a look at quick look at the case. Wood box. Notice anything similar about these? HMV used this design later on the 101. One of the lid catches they used on the 101. One style anyway. As you can see, no badges, no decals, nothing at all. That over there in the corners for the lid stay. Nothing identifying it as Decca other than the reproducer. I am not familiar enough with Decca machines to recognize this. I have another Decca, that's the Salon Model 10, but it doesn't look anything like this. It's not constructed anything like this, although it does have a Garrard motor. But the Garrard motor was common with Decca. That's what they used. And I guess they had as many styles as anybody else. Look at the nice woodwork in there, though. That is all wood. There's no paper board or anything like that. Probably pine, but I can't be sure. It could be something else. You can see the factory assembly markings are still there. Now, I wonder if that 30 is 1930. I don't know. I doubt it. Because I'm pretty sure by then, this was... Decca was making orthophonic machines. Just kind of surprising not to find any kind of identifying tag in there. Especially on such a nice machine. This is not a cheap, entry-level machine. This was fairly expensive, I'm sure. I can tell just by the workmanship that went into it. Look at the handle on this. It looks like a flat handle until you lift it up, and the handle is in excellent condition. Notice that's hinged. That whole piece right there is hinged. And it feels like there's a steel strap in there, but I can't be sure. That is nice work. And then it goes flat again. Well, that's the preliminary look. I'm going to clean everything up, get it all back together and working. Obviously, the spring needs to come out and be scrubbed. Look what happened to the washers here. These were rubber. Now, this is common enough. This happens. Rubber doesn't last 100 years, but it just basically it turned to like a glue. Really gooey, nasty. That'll be replaced. I have rubber washers to substitute for those, so that's not a big issue. In fact, here they are. Takes the place. All it's got to do is space it out and give it a little bit of vibration protection, I guess. Now this brake is not a kind I'm familiar with. I have no idea. I already see we have some weak springs on here. Nothing appears to be obviously bent or broken, so it's possible it might work. That's a little deteriorated, I think, or maybe they're just made that way. Really don't know. There's your brake leather. Just an oddball looking thing. I have never seen a brake assembly quite looks like this, but we'll see what happens when it's back playing and I try to make it work. The last one on the, which one gave me problems? It was the Pollard, yeah. There was one on the Pollard, and there was one before that on a 101 where people had bent and cut things and done other things that, in attempts to make them work, that basically destroyed them. And that was kind of a project getting those back together. But just though you like a look at this, it's just such a nicely made machine. I mean, you don't expect this in a portable. You know, this level of workmanship is just so nice. I mean, it must have taken them forever to make this motorboard assembly. You know, and Garrard with these motors, I'm sure that was quite a project too. You know, just generally speaking, like HMV and Victor both make nice motors. But they're inside the case where they're not going to be seen except during servicing, usually by a technician, you know, for that. And they don't need to be high polished. In fact, the habit at the time was to slather most of the parts with shellac to make sure they didn't corrode and rust, and that was that. They didn't do anything else. You know, just basically put it together. But this is almost like they intended to display it under glass, you know, or something like that. Like on the Crown, outside horn machine that I did a video on, with the glass panels inside the cabinet so you can see the motor, which is one of these, by the way. Just really, really nice looking motor. I mean, this is almost something you want to display by itself. You know, just put it on a little pedestal and say, here you go, phonograph motor. See the gears. Intermediate gear there, the spring barrel. It's surprisingly clean, considering I doubt, judging by the condition of the rubber washers, I doubt this has been apart in probably 80 or 90 years. I mean, it's just doesn't look like it. And there's not a huge surplus of grease and oil in there. It's just right. So somebody hasn't been repeatedly greasing this and oiling it up and everything else enough to make a large mess. You know, it's in very good shape. And still working on the early 101. I still have to do the reproducer on that one. It's done. I just have to bring it down and test it. Which will be in a future video. It's just another number 4. Can't get over that. Just how nicely that's done. Never saw another one of these either. This is the only one like this I've seen. I'm sure there's more out there. But this is the only one like this I've ever come across. Just something different. You know, a break from all the HMVs and Victors and all of that. There will be more. As you can see, we have the next project lined up here already. Another number 4. I have several of these waiting for me very patiently to get to them. That one looks filthy as hell, but it's not that bad. It'll clean up. And there you go. Oh, where's the turntable? There's the turntable. Garrard turntable. It's actually exactly the same one that's on the Crown. 10-inch.